tens are back. We're going to do the second part, which is looking at the specifics of each of the phases in mitosis. So again, we have interphase, and then we have mitosis, and then we have cytokinesis. So we're at interphase, and we're going to look at the stages of interphase. So you're remembering PMAT, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. Okay? You're going to practice with some of this vocabulary because it can be a little bit tricky. Here's where we left off. We were looking at perhaps one set of homologous pair, one set of chromosomes. So chromosome number 1, for example, has a maternal and a paternal chromosome. Again, they code for the same information, but what they say could be a little bit different. Okay, so again, eye color perhaps is on chromosome number 1. It's not really, but let's say that it is. What the instructions say from your mother and what the instructions said from your father, the combination of those two sets of instructions work out your heredity and how that heritable trait actually gets expressed in you, right? So you don't have the same eye color as your mom or your dad. You might. Just depends on how those genes interact. And that's what we learned about in grade 11. Okay, so we've already established the fact that those chromosomes have replicated. They've made an exact copy of themselves because at some point they have to split up and end up in 2 different cells. So here we go. For the very first part of mitosis, we're looking at prophase. So I've drawn my chromosomes. You can add some color if you'd like. What happens? The nuclear membrane dissolves. The second thing that happens here is spindle fibers, which is again is a protein structure that the cell makes. A spindle fiber forms between a centriole, which is this guy right here. This is a centriole. And from a centriole, it has a little fiber that comes and attaches to the centromere in the very center part of the chromosome. Okay, so here we go. If I have chromosome number 1, I've got a little fiber, a little string that's going to attach itself to the centromere from the centriole. Okay, next stage, we have metaphase. Okay, in metaphase, what happens is that the centromeres of the chromosome attach even farther to the spindle fibers, and the chromosomes form a line down the middle. Here's how you remember that. Middle starts with an M, metaphase starts with an M. So you've got one chromosome along the middle plate of the cell. Okay, now you can't see your nuclear membrane anymore because it dissolved in the first stage. And now we've got our chromosomes lined up in the middle. Now do you see how in the next stage it will simply take that chromosome and split it apart. One will go one way and one will go the other. All right, this is what we call anaphase. The chromosomes pull apart. The 2 sister chromatids move to opposite ends of the cell. Now you could call them daughter chromosomes if you'd like, but again, it's still a chromosome. This is a chromosome, this is a chromosome, this is a chromosome, and this is a chromosome. Okay? Last stage, that's anaphase as they're pulling apart to the sides. The very last part is called telophase or telophase, and the nuclear membrane starts to form around the chromosomes that are in the center of the cell now, and you get a pinching off of the cell membrane ready to split into 2. Okay, it's called the cleavage furrow that you have right in the very center there, and it will end up in 2. Now, mitosis is being completed, and the very last part of the entire cell cycle is cytokinesis, and the sides will pinch towards the end and 2 daughter cells form. So that's how you end up with 2 chromosomes at the beginning, replicated chromosomes lined up in the middle. One goes one way, one goes the other. Here's a cell, here's a cell. They also all have 2 chromosomes. So can you imagine that this happens in every single cell as it needs to divide? And inside the nucleus of every single cell, you have 46 chromosomes. Okay, this diagram right here is showing 2 chromosomes because drawing one with 46 would be crazy. But remember, if you started with a diagram with 46 chromosomes in it, you're going to have to end up with 2 cells, and each of those cells has 46 chromosomes. Okay? All right, there is lots of terminology. I'm going to get you to watch this Amoeba Sisters video, and as they go through the video, they'll talk about the cell cycle and show you which part of it is mitosis and interphase, and the animation is great because it also will show you again what it looks like at each of those phases of mitosis in the stages of the cell cycle. Okay, so good luck with this one. This is a tricky one. There's lots of terminology and lots of explaining you're going to need to do. Okay, good luck.